very few unfortunate students who was privileged enough to have Miss Wolf for 2 years. As a result, and this is no exaggeration, I don't believe I am the person that I was when I walked into her classroom that first day of my freshman year. Miss Wolf not only helped me to grow as a student, but she also helped me to grow as a person. She expanded my horizons and prompted me to think in ways that were both new and interesting. She helped develop my critical thinking, my presentation skills, and my leadership abilities. I feel that all of these skills are essential and have not only helped me in the school setting, but will also play an important role towards success in the future. This is probably one of many reasons why everyone always loved Miss Wolf's class. We enjoyed the simulations and discussions because we knew that all of the information would only benefit us in the future. It is because of her that we have all grown into the people that you will hear from today, as we share our final praises to our favorite teacher, Miss Wolf.
Miss Wolf's love for this class has allowed me to become interested in topics that I never thought I would find fascinating.
Mrs. Wolf was one of the most incredible and unique teachers I've ever had at Ridge. She is never afraid to speak her mind and tell the truth in a world where very few people do.
I enjoyed learning American history and Gov and Econ if Miss Wolf hadn't taught it. I can now truly say that I appreciate our founding fathers and realize all the work that goes into running our nation thanks to Miss Wolf.
Miss Wolf, you were an amazing teacher because you took the time to get to know me personally, bonding over cheerleading. I truly respect you and everything that you've taught me. Know that Ridge is going to be missing out on an amazing teacher.
I'll forget when I had my concussion and Miss Wolf came to my house for my home instruction, even though she had a long trip home to go to Pennsylvania, that's where she lives. And I'll never forget her coming to my house and taking the time out of her day to help me out and teach me everything I missed. And that just really shows like her dedication to teaching and as a person how wonderful she is and how much she cares for us.
If there's something Mrs. Wolf doesn't know, I am genuinely concerned because that means nobody else on God's green earth does. Mrs. Wolf's dedication to her job never ceases to amaze me either because waking up in the wee hours of the morning to drive from Pennsylvania to here is a feat I could never achieve.
Year, I wasn't in honors, but I loved history a lot, so I wanted to bump up, and I did. Needless to say, it was a pretty big adjustment because it was a lot of critical thinking instead of just memorization of facts. So I struggled for the first few weeks. And so I asked Miss Wolf for some advice, and she was really nice and really helpful, and her advice...
One of my favorite memories with Miss Wolf would probably be from the first day of my sophomore year. Being one of the few kids in the class who had the pleasure of having her as my teacher for world history during freshman year, I was aware of the incorrectness of her reputation. However, for those who thought this reputation to be true, Miss Wolf delivered a presentation to bring these issues to light. It epitomized the astute sense of humor possessed by so few people such as herself, as only a select few people have the ability to recognize and criticize their own flaws, even though I would never consider her strict nature to be a flaw. Her sense of humor is one of the many reasons why Miss Wolf is my favorite teacher ever.
Memory, aside from all the great times we had in class, was when I interviewed Miss Wolf for my sophomore marking period 2 and 3 project. I asked her about the war in Afghanistan, and she told me all about what it was like. Mostly, I remember her telling me how her family used to have a map in their living room, and they would watch the news every night, tracking all of the movements on their map. This and a few other stories made my project better overall. I enjoyed listening to her talk about her life and the war back then.
I don't know if there's another teacher out there who can care as much about a subject as you.
Thank you for a wonderful 2 years, Miss Wolf. Your dedication and love for teaching is inspiring. I hope you have amazing, happy years to come. I'll miss you.
My favorite memory of Miss Wolf is from the beginning of the year after back-to-school night. I remember her coming in the next day and telling us all about how she told our parents to get off our back about grades. She knows how hard we work and that she's so confident that we'll get the grades that we'll deserve and they're going to be good either way. I love that she understands us and she's so passionate about helping us in our learning and everything, and I'm going to really miss her next year.
I could never achieve. I am extremely blessed to be able to say that Mrs. Wolf has been my teacher and will never forget the fabulous and memorable moments that comprised my class time with her. Her commitment, enthusiasm, intelligence, and tough love will forever be in my heart, and I will cherish the important lessons she has taught me forever. She will be immensely missed by all who have been lucky enough to have her as a teacher, and I wish her all the best. Love you, Mrs. Wolf.
We'll miss you next year, Miss Wolf. Your enthusiasm is unforgettable.
Miss Wolf, always had so much enthusiasm for government and somehow found the time to have a food party in every unit. But even with all the fun times, she taught me so much about history and life that I will never forget.
In short, it is plain to say that Miss Wolf truly was and always will be the most gifted teacher that I have come across in my 17 years. She has touched all of us in a way that we will never forget, and we are all so much better for having her as a teacher. Thank you, Miss Wolf, for changing the lives of all of us and a countless number of others. You will always have a special place in our heart, and you will always be missed here at Ridge.